Well, how do you do, buckaroos? How the heck are you? Oh, wow, the aroma on this is gorgeous. It pours, wow, look at that apricot kind of color. It's very nice. Aroma is beautiful. This is yet another one I'm drinking that the Bierbiker dropped off with me almost a month ago now. White Blaze Honey Cream Ale from Wolf Hills Brewing. 4.6%. I could say 4.8, but I think it says 4.6. Excuse me. My Tourette's has really been getting the best of me lately. 4.6, 17 IBUs. Uses pale Pilsner, honey, and wheat malts, Northern Brewer, and Saaz hops. Excuse me, goodness gracious. Sounds like an interesting combo. The aroma is gorgeous, actually. Very floral on the aroma. I'm getting some orange blossom-like notes to it, as well as some honey sweetness for sure. A lot of sweetness on the nose. Let's take a drink, huh? Wow, I have a few stouts I want to do today, but as you can see, well, what you can't see, other than my cushions, is I have a rather nice day here, so I decided to fire up the grill, because I think we're starting to, you know, get into some cold weather here, so I better try to get at least one more good one in before we start seeing white stuff on the ground. So, I had to do some shopping earlier today, and at Sam's they had a nice pork butt marked down, so I picked it up, and it's on there. And then about a week ago, I made a meatloaf. I didn't cook it, just wrapped it in foil, stuck it in the freezer. So, and I was gonna. The plan actually was to cook it in a crock pot. My oven went belly up, but I decided to put it on the smoker, and I'm going to smoke a meatloaf as well. That'll be tonight's dinner. The pork butt will be for tomorrow. I'm going to get some nice smoke on it tonight, and then finish it, or today, and finish it up tomorrow. So anyway, to kind of went a long way around the bar to tell you why I'm drinking a cream ale and not the stouts, because I have a rather nice day here in the Ozarks. Man, he brought me some outstanding beers. I was surprised by a couple of them. Narragansett's been starting to brew again. I guess they're brewed by somebody else. And I don't know how true it is to the originals, but this lager was enjoyable. He sent me 2 shandies, a lemon and a black cherry. And this is the black cherry can. And both were outstanding, and I'm not a huge shandy fan, to be honest with you, and I just enjoyed the heck out of both of them. He brought me a couple from the Bronx. These cans got kind of beat up. Bronx Pale and this Bronx Rye here. Both were great, but I really love rye in a beer, so that Bronx Rye Pale really spoke to me. This is a nice layered and textured cream ale. A lot of them are kind of one-dimensional, which is not necessarily unusual for the style. I've also noticed that this one doesn't use corn, which is typical of the style. I mean, you know, it's not, it is an adjunct, but some form of corn is you know, normal or almost expected in a cream ale. Well, this one doesn't. It says pale Pilsner, honey, white wheat malts. It does use some wheat, which would explain the texture on it. It does. It's more nuanced. The flavors are more developed in this cream ale than most. The only other one off the top of my head that I think's in the same ballpark as this one is the Rod's Pale Ale from Public House Brewery, which I'm using their cup here by accident, but I just happened to think of that as I'm drinking this. It's kind of reminded me a little bit of Rod's. Most people tend to think Genesee as kind of the cream ale that everybody knows. But a beer like this is light. It's easy to drink. It's only 4.6%. But this one's really got some interesting flavors. Again, I mentioned orange blossom. I am getting some of that. I'm getting a lot of honey. What I really enjoy about this one is the Saaz hops I'm getting on the back end, typically found in Pilsners. I'm a big fan of that hop, and it works perfect in a beer like this. So there you go. That's the first installment for this this lovely day. And we'll do more as our weekend goes. It's time to Beer Whisper. I'll talk to you later. How do you do, and cheers. This is Tom the Beer Whisperer. How the heck are you? So I'm drinking another one from the Bierbiker, 3-notch brewing company. I've never had anything from this brewery before. 3-notched the Ghost APA 5.1 35 IBUs. So there you go. So I've decided to do something different here today, and I don't know if I'll keep doing it or if it'll just be today's experiment, but we're going to give it a shot. So I thought instead of doing several short videos, which is what I've been doing, you know, I try to keep them, you know, between 5 and 6 minutes. Some run a little longer, some shorter. But I thought, well, I don't really need to run up a quantity of videos. I've already got quite a bit out there. Then I kind of try to make kind of a cohesive episode of some sort. The aromas on this are beautiful, by the way. A little sweet, little peppery. I'll get more detail on you later. Let's start with that. Yes, there's a lot of malt sweetness early on, and then some nice white pepper-like notes. But anyways, yeah, lost my train of thought. Wait for that train to come back at the station. Yeah, you know, so I don't really do beer reviews. I'll talk some about the tasting notes, but I've said in several videos, and I hate to keep repeating myself, and I hate to keep saying it over and over again, but it seems like I just recently got a comment on one of my video that I didn't review the beer. I talked about something else. I didn't review the beer. Nowhere in my description does it say Beer Whisper beer reviews. It says drinking with the Beer Whisper. So I'm kind of want to elaborate on that. I mean, instead of, I'm going to try, I'll do it today anyway, and maybe tomorrow, and keep it up in the following. Instead of doing, you know, 5 or 10 videos on a weekend, just do, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 longer segments, kind of episodes, if you will, you know, instead of, you know, 4 or 5, 6, 7 minute videos, do one 25, 30 minutes, you know. Of course, I'll stop them after each beer, but, you know, just kind of string it all together. I'm going to see if it works. What the hell? You know, asking you to watch me for 30 minutes is a lot to ask, I know, but we're going to give it a shot. Yeah, what I do is most commentary. I want to have a pub conversation with you. You know, I like to think you're all here with me, and sometimes I pretend you're answering me. Oh, wow, that one caught me off guard. That's gorgeous. Well, you know, see, sometimes you're swayed by certain things when you have a beer. This one, what threw me off guard was the stats, actually. 5.1, 35 is certainly within the parameters of an APA, but it's on the smaller end of what APAs are these days, anyway. So I wasn't expecting that big punch, and it was big. Apricot and grapefruit is what I get the most of. Apricot in the middle, grapefruit at the end. It's beautiful, actually. To give you more, it pours a beautiful golden, as you can see here. Again, you know, as I said earlier, so assuming I'm going to do what I just said I was going to do, you already have heard me say that I have a rare, nice day here. They say it's only supposed to be 60 degrees. It sure feels warmer than that because I'm here in a sleeveless shirt and shorts out here. It feels a lot warmer, and which is why I had some stouts I was going to do, but I decided I would try to find some of these lighter beers first. And so I started with the White Blaze Honey Cream Ale, which was very nice, which really was a great segue into this bad boy. It feels like, you ever have that pink grapefruit juice cocktail? Well, it feels like that right in the finish. It does, you know. You got that big punch of grapefruit, just the slightest hint of sweetness, and kind of that tart grapefruit. I'm using my ship mug, which may not be the perfect vessel for an APA. Get it, ship vessel. See what I did there? Damn, I'm clever. Anyways, no, I just like the glass, and I had it handy. handy. Get it? Anyways, I digress. So, yeah, this is what the Bierbiker had sent me. The Ghost APA. I've had people comment that that I crack myself up like nobody else they've ever met, which is true. I find myself hilarious. I've often said the world will be a much better place if everybody else thought I was as funny as I do. He sent me some great beers, which I showed some of them to you earlier. This one's outstanding. It kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that big flavor for a 5.1 APA. Good golly, it's beautiful. The finish is what's gorgeous on it, though. Again, there's a little bit of sweetness. I get some fruit, apricot specific in the middle there, and then it kind of breaks in. There's, I'm not going to read all that on you. The Ghost Ship of the 43rd. Oh, I didn't see that. Or the Ghost Ship, the Ghost. The Ghost of the 43rd APA. Boy, pay attention, Tom. So anyways, hey, I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer. I ran longer than I intended on, but I'll be back later with another one. Howdy do, buckaroos. This is Tom the Beer Whisperer. I'm back with another one from the Bierbiker, trying to go through some of those beers. You know, I did a bunch of them. That he brought me 21 beers, I believe. I went through a bunch of them that first weekend, and I've been going through them pretty regular ever since, but I still have just a few left. Obviously, I've had I started with the cream ale, kind of had a progression going on, as you can see. I did the cream ale, the Wolf Hills Brewing Company cream ale, the 3-notched Ghost of the 43rd APA, and now I've moved on to Round Guys Brewing Kiss Off IPA 6.3, 70.1 IBUs, I believe, are the numbers. I'll just leave you with that picture of that gorilla there. Slightly better to look at than I am. It's interesting, almost grassy nose on it. Hope I got something in there. I've been smoking. I mentioned earlier that I've got a pork butt on there. Big butt. Got a meatloaf, but I forgot to mention that I put some sweet taters on there too, because my wife loves sweet taters, smoked sweet taters. Seamus developed a sauce that had smoked. It was a barbecue sauce, but it used smoked sweet potatoes as the base, and that thing was just gorgeous. He used the smoked sweet potatoes, just a little bit of tomato sauce, but it was mostly sweet potato was the base, just a tad bit of tomato product, and some various seasonings, primarily some jerk style herbs that he kind of formulated himself, herbs and spices that he kind of put together himself, and that thing was just gorgeous. I've tried to do it the same way since, and I can't get quite what he had done that one time. He had the most amazing palate. He really did. I did most of the cooking, but I'd always have him taste stuff, and he'd say, "Dad, how about if you try this, or how about if you add this herb or this spice or do this or that?" And he was always right. It is a very interesting nose for an IPA. It's very earthy and grassy. It's not quite what I expected. I'm almost getting these lemongrass-like notes to it. Wow, that's funky. You know, I'm not sure if I like this or not, to be honest. That was an odd flavor. It's very distinctive, so I think it's going to be one that people are either going to love or not, because it is very distinctive. Again, I'm going to say it again. I'm getting, you know, you get a lot of citrus typically with an IPA. A lot of contemporary or current craft IPAs are using hops that will impart a lot of tropical fruit notes. You kind of expect that. Traditionally, you also get a lot of grapefruit and pine and various other, it's not unusual to see a lot of orange, lemon, lime, that sort of thing. That's why I'm getting lemon, but I'm not getting lemon. I'm getting lemongrass specifically. It's a more specific flavor. I'm getting very tart lemongrass notes right at the end, as well as, so there's some other things working as well, but it's very earthy. It's a different kind of IPA. It feels more herbal. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, herbal. I kept saying earthy and it didn't feel right. Herbal feels very herbal. Yeah, what the hell? I'm going to drink it. I don't know. Is it one of my favorites? Probably not, but I'm going to remember it because it was different as all hell. And I'm always grateful when folks bring me beer. I love it. I did bring him some, but I didn't bring him near as much as he brought me, so I'm going to send him a few others. There's some fall seasonals coming out. I'm going to get out in his direction. I'm going to try to set it up where he can share with some friends as well. So here I am on this glorious weekend where I've got a nice day. I've got some grilling going on. I'm still working through some up to look and the fridge, see what beers I have left for the Beer Biker. This time, Beer Whisperer. We'll talk to you later. Well, howdy do, buckaroos. So I'm changing gears beer style-wise, but I'm kind of finishing up the theme, which is Beer Biker beers, the beers that the Beer Biker brought me, the kind of craft beer Santa Claus who rides across the country on his motorcycle, delivering beer to all the good craft beer boys and girls. I'm assuming I was good because he brought me a bunch. 5.2% our Dunkel from Brothers Craft Brewing. I've never had anything from this brewery before. In fact, I'm not familiar with them at all. It pours gorgeous, so I took a picture and I've let it sit for a little bit, as it did the other camera stuff I do, but it pours just beautiful. Look, I got it in my Urban Chestnut Hopfenfest glass from 2013. Oh, let's see. 5.2%. There's a nice warning. I thought it was going to say something about the beer, but no, it's just a warning. Anyways, alcohol may cause you to be impaired and pick up ugly women in bars. Or in my case, ugly. It allows ugly women to pick me up, but that's another story. Got off the rails. Yeah, so this is the last one. I think so anyway. I looked in the fridge. It's the last one I noticed. I didn't know how much I had left, but apparently there was 4. So I started with... I went in somewhat logical order until I got to here. The White Blaze Honey Cream Ale. It's a very nice cream ale. It is more nuanced and layered than most cream ales. Then I had 3 Notch Brewery, the Ghost of the 43rd APA. This was a very interesting beer too. Huge grapefruit. It kind of caught me off guard. It feels bigger than the 5.1 would suggest. Then I went to this one, 6370 IBU Kiss Off IPA from Round Guys. This one kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't ready for it. It was very herbal, very different, a lot of lemongrass going on. And now I'm onto a Dunkel. I know stylistically a little different. I'm kind of changing gears, but this is the last of this particular segment as I try a foray into a new format for Drinking with the Beer Whisperer. Not necessarily the way I do things or how I talk or what I do, but instead of doing, several short videos, I'm just going to try to lump things together into a theme, and this particular theme was Beer Biker beers. The last 4, I'm just going to run one long video and hope y'all can stay with me through it all. Oh yeah! Wow! Wow! I like a Dunkel. I do. I kind of needed it actually, because my palate was kind of going in all sorts of directions after that last beer. Wow, it's very good. Getting just hints of coffee on the nose. A lot of malt, though, mostly malt, but I'm certainly getting some coffee-like aromas. Some big, deep, dark malt notes. It's nice. It's one of those. It's only 5.2. I mean, it's not huge. I'm gonna call it light to medium bodied. Although some might see it more as light, some might see it more as medium. This is a beer I might give to beer drinkers that don't think they like dark beers. It is frustrating when people just lump shit together, right? They say, I don't like lagers. Well, you know, why not? Because, you know, they think every lager is a bud. You know, a Dunkel is a lager. You know, a Doppelbock is a lager. They are not all the same. Just say, I don't like them. It doesn't make a lot of sense. To me, to say I don't like all dark beers. Well, not all dark beers are the same. Not every dark beer is an 11% Imperial Stout, which is when people say that, well, it's too thick, it's like motor oil. This isn't. This isn't. This has a lot of flavor. But it's not heavy, and it's not hard to drink. It is very easy to drink. It's only 5.2%. There's not. I don't know the IBUs on it. I didn't look it up, and it doesn't say here. And I don't really give a rat's ass what they are. To be honest with you, I don't care. No, there's just this type of beer. The IBUs are really inconsequential. They're just there to shut her down at the end, just to clean it up and give you a pleasant drinking experience. That's what it does. You got a little bit of sweetness with the malt. There's some nice malt going on. Like I said, I'm still getting a little bit of coffee mixed with some beautiful dark malt notes, and then it just kind of cleans up and dries up right at the end. So what do you want a beer like this to do? It may not be the most memorable of beer styles, but it is very pleasurable to drink. How about that? Boy, that was hard to say. Anyways, I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer. I've talked long enough. We'll talk to you later.